Good evening, televiewers. Welcome to Prime Hour on My Media Prime TV. This evening, we're going to be doing a special edition for the first part of the program, focusing on the ongoing works in the city of Bamenda, chief town of the northwest region. The population has been crying for years now for the conditions of the roads of the town to be worked on, and as we speak, works have been ongoing on the roads of Bamenda in what is described by the technicians as the Bamenda urban crossing. What is the dimension of the road? What is going to be the lifespan of the road, and what actually is happening as we speak? So many persons have seen works going on social media and may not be too convinced that this is actually happening. We took time off to move down the streets of Bamenda through the eyes and the voice of Kibwa Charles, who is our representative out there, to take us through and also let the world actually feel and see what is happening. Charles.
To the northwest region, where we're talking on the ongoing project, which is the Bamenda Bycross project, which today thousands in the city of Bamenda appreciate what is being done. But we thought it wise to get down the field, meet those who are carrying out this project, tell us the reality of what it entails, this project, the durability of this project, the difficulties they've had, and equally how long the project will take for the population of Bamenda, who are the benefactors, to enjoy what has been produced. With me here is one of the coordinators here in the northwest region doing the work, and this is what he had for us.
Okay, Charles has planted the foundation for what we are going to be discovering tonight. He's going to be discussing throughout the program with Mr. Nzi Celestine, who is the coordinator, project coordinator for Burns, the construction company out there in Bamenda, and through Charles Kibwa, Mr. Nzi is going to be telling us actually what the Bamenda urban crossing entails, how it looks like, and the parts that are actually being divided or split up between the city, the quarters that are going to be witnessing the tarring and construction works.
Which quarters in Bamenda are actually going to benefit of these roads?
Okay. When we talk about the Bamenda urban crossing, as these are the new terms that you get over radio stations and social media outlets. The Bamenda urban crossing, with respect to our project terminology, is a section of the road from Amumezam Junction, Baele Junction, Mobile Nkwen, Finance Junction, Gang Junction, Veterinary Junction, Sonak Street, City Chemist, Food Market, Hospital Roundabout, Neta Quarters, where we are presently, T Junction, Ayaba Street, closing the section at Veterinary Junction. That is actually the Bamenda urban crossing, financed by the World Bank. The other section where Bonds is involved is the C2D, where we have the heart of the town. That is Vicky Street, the section behind the market that they refer to as Back Market to Kamkula Ziri. The road up station from the monument through prisons up to the entrance to the Bamenda 1 market, and then the middle of the town that cuts in between Commercial Avenue and Food Market. With this I mean the old Treasury Street, and all the streets within that section, right to Ringway Street, coming out in front of Commercial Avenue. We refer to that section in our project terminology as Font Street area. So, under the C2D, Gugumang, Razel, Guns, Mark has a total of 11.4 kilometers. Guns is doing 5.6 kilometers, 5.7 kilometers, and Mark is doing 5.7 kilometers.
So that is what the Bamenda Urban Crossing is going to be looking like after the construction works are completed out there in the Northwest Regional Capital of Bamenda. But many persons have seen the works are going on. They are also interested, wondering what the dimension of this route is going to be, from what section to the other section, how the road, the width of the road, how it's going to be looking like. Mr. Nzi also gives us detailed information of how large the road is going to be looking like.
So, can the population of Bamenda, now we have seen they have widened out the road to a way that people are a little bit confused whether it is 70 meters or it is 30 meters or how wide will the roads that people are constructing in Bamenda be?
The first assurance I want to give is that the project details with respect to the specifications from the project owner show that the roads are going to be widened section by section, from Amumezam Junction through Mobile Quen to Finance Junction. We have a double carriageway, 7 meters, one on both sides. That is 7 times 2, 14 meters. With a road island, that is the section that you find in the middle of the road, where in some areas they plant grass and flowers, and where in some areas it is concreted. It's going to be 2 meters. And then we have the gutters and the shoulders on both sides of the road, which are also 2 meters. That is from Amumezam Junction to Finance Junction. Okay, from Finance Junction through Gang Junction, Veterinary Junction to City Chemist Roundabout. We have a double carriageway, 10 meters times 2, which means that each side of the road is 10 meters wide, and a road island in the middle of 2 meters, and then gutters and shoulders on each side of the road that take 2 meters. From City Chemist Roundabout to Fish Pond Junction, that is almost at the food market, the junction where you have the road that goes up towards on its way to that. From City Chemist Roundabout, you have 6 meters 50 times 2 with a road island of 2 meters. Shoulders and gutters 2 meters on both sides. And then from the Fish Pond Junction through the food market to Hospital Roundabout, you have 5 meters times 2 and no road island. You know the difficulties there. Many people are going to ask the reasons why the road is 10 meters wide plus gutters 2 meters on both sides, giving a total of 14 meters with a little section which are just designed in the middle, which represents the road island, which shall be 2 meters equal. People are going to ask question why that section around food market is not the same size, 10 meters by 2. There is a considerable amount of discrepancies construction work that has to be done there. You can see for yourself the number of buildings there if we have to bring them down. So we are working with the available space. But there shall be no vendors that you see there. They shall have to ship for us to get that section of 14 meters as the width of the road. From Hospital Roundabout now, through T-Junction, Big Mancon, Ayaba Street, right to Veterinary Junction where we are. It's going to be the same 10 meters carriageway by 2 with a road island of 2 meters, shoulders on both sides, 2 meters each. So at the end of the day, we are going to respect what was defined from the beginning at almost 80% of the sections of the road, where we cover sections of 26 meters, and then after the shoulders of the road, you have at least additional 2 meters each before somebody occupies anything there. So that is what the people of Bamenda should expect. Of this street is referred to in our technical terms, in our contract, as the road from Back Market to Kamkul Aziri. It's a distance of 680 linear meters. Construction under Societe Bonds. As you can see, we have just started. This is the lean concrete process going on. And after the lean concrete, the gutter units that you saw, we shall just bring them and align them, seal the joints. And after 3 days, we can fill behind and start preparing the subgrade of the road. Here you have gutters on both sides of the road. The width of the road is 7 meters. You have gutters, and then after the gutters, behind the gutters, you have the shoulders. In some areas it's 1 meter, in some areas it's up to 2 meters. That's the summary here. For this street, you have retaining walls, you have box culverts, and not many. You have just 2 box culverts and 2 major retaining walls. The little difficulty that we have here is where they refer to as back market, because the right of way has not been completely free. We are waiting for the competent authorities to solve that problem. That's where we are going to have some obstacles. But this section right up to from Kamkul Aziri, we don't have any obstacles. That's why we have started this way.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Anzi Celestine, for painting the picture, explaining with great details how the routes are going to look like. I'm sure you also are understanding, and also especially for those who are living in Bamenda, because they wonder where these roads are going to pass by, and also the size of the route. He's told us in very technical language and in very clear terms. But I know many persons also are worried with the quality of the work that is going to be done and the lifespan of the projects. Is it going to be a road that will last for 2, 3, 4, 5 years? Is it a road that will last a maximum 10 years, or it's a road that is going to last beyond 20 years? Let's get the facts from the technician on the field.
Can you tell us the durability of, and lifespan of this project?
When you say durability, let me start from the quality of what we are doing. Many people, since 2022 when we started, the accusations were that we were pretending around because elections were coming. And after elections, we were going to leave. Elections have come and gone, and even the presidential elections have come and gone, and we are still there. But the assurance that I want to give here on behalf of my company is that we are technicians. We are not politicians. And the project owner is the Cameroon government. We have been given a contract to construct roads in town, beginning from Babaji to Bamenda and the urban road. And we are here doing the urban crossing. And the assurance I want to give is that the quality shall be what the average Bamenda person wants. I know we have a population characterized by those who do critical appraisal for everything. They are free to visit us and see the quality of what we are doing. That is why I have kept saying that our projects have a life expectancy of 30 years. Those are the qualities of roads that we are going to do. Coming with a thick layer of tar, and after some people even got out somewhere around Santa to complain that we are putting a very thick layer of tar when other roads are waiting for construction and they are not being constructed. It is a process. We are constructing a road that we expect it to have a life expectancy of at least 30 years. And that is how we have to do it. The first layer has larger grains of asphalt that they refer to in French as graft bitumen. And the second layer now is surface dressing. That comes with the normal surface dressing that you see in most roads around town and in most roads around Cameroon. Yes. And now that is what we refer to in French as an obey, and generally as asphalt in French.
Ms. Tanzi, for explaining to our televiewers and the world what actually is happening as far as the Bamenda urban crossing is concerned. There are also worries amongst the population why there are delays in some parts of the route and why this road did not start at the Bamenda part of town where it was initially supposed to commence. You guys have started elsewhere, so people are also worried that is this part not going to be abandoned and not following the promise made by the competent authorities. But let us find out why there are some changes in the execution so that the population can understand.
Bamenda Bike Cross project begins from where we talk of dreamland around the Bamenda and stretches around the city of Bamenda. So we want to find out from you what happened as instead to begin the work here, you people have taken to start the work somewhere around the Bamenda city itself.
Okay, it's true. We are at Bamenda Junction. This is the junction popularly known as Bamenda Junction. The Bamenda urban crossing begins from here. But the project owner still has some minor issues to resolve between Bamenda Junction, Baile Junction, Mobile Crane, up to Finance Junction. That is why, in order to gain time, we anticipated that we don't have to stand somewhere and be waiting for the project owner to solve minor issues. We should get to other areas, especially where we have many more crossing structures, to quickly solve the problems. Start working from any convenient section of town. When the project owner shall solve this problem, we shall come back.
Bamenda today complains that since you people began works, this is one of the first angles in the region was accessible, but for some time now it's inaccessible. What has actually caused the duration that this work has not been back?
Okay. For the Bamenda urban crossing, this is the first crossing structure, the first box project that has been completed. But I shall like to explain something to the population. I know we understand the situation of our roads has been so poor and people have been suffering. But we have to be patient to understand some basic technical aspects. Otherwise, we are going to rush and deliver poor results. When you complete a box culvert, which is 100% concreted. When you complete the casting and the box cover is ready and you remove the formwork, you don't just rush to do structural backfilling and allow it for circulation. There is a curing period and test results are conducted on the samples of the concrete collected. The first crushing takes place after 7 days, the second one after 14 days, for you to see the progression of the curing process. After that, you see the progression, 21 days, you do the third one, and now you can be sure that the curing is okay for you to do the last one on the 28th day to give you a technical authorization from the control team that you can now do the structural backfill. Here, this is the 27th day, and you see us ready because the results that we have had for the 3 crushing periods of 7 days, 14 days, and 21 days have given us excellent results. So we already know that the results on the 28th day is just a formality. That's why we are cleaning now and preparing the structure for structural backfill. And I must assure the population that we want to give good structures that are going to last and respect a period. For the structures, we expect to deliver goods which are going to last for at least 50 years.
Okay, as we speak, we are aware of what happened around the bridge linking the stretch from City Chemis roundabout down to Vatican Express to Sonak Street. So that bridge is also being, I'm sure it has been destroyed already, and a brand new bridge is going to be constructed, and a brand new bridge is going to be constructed, and which is going to be far bigger and better than what was there. And we're going to continue listening to Mr. Celestine D. Tell us how the new bridge will look like.
This crossing structure is popularly known as Vatican Bridge. And for the past 2 rainy seasons, we have witnessed with images from social media what has been happening here. The recent pictures, the recent videos showed 2 persons who got drowned here and many other crossing structures around Bamenda. That is why we have anticipated to start this construction in January, so that by the end of February is through and we will resolve that problem. First of all, it's not going to be a structure like this one. It's going to be a double box culvert with a height above the existing height, the span better than this one that shall accommodate the riverbed. That is the first solution. The second one is that we are going to clean the riverbed and prepare it such that it contains the water. So from years to come, we shall not see the waters rising. Some people may talk about witchcraft. No, it is because of the proper drainage, cleaning, and accommodation of the water into the new structure.
Okay, while this bridge is being constructed, we're going to also get explanation on how the famous Ngeng Junction is going to look like by Mr. Celestine. But before we get there, we should note that the works that we see on the streets is just part of what is being done, but a lot is being done behind the scenes, away from what the ordinary Bamenda man sees. A lot has been done already. So as we speak, when they say the work is at this level of progression, this rate of progression, many persons may not understand. But let him also bring us behind the scenes to show us what has been done so far, to tell us that works have been are very advanced.
And precast zone. They have their concrete mixer, and they come with iron already prepared from the section you saw that way. They do the precasting here, and these are the units. They are box culvert elements. For the culverts that you have in town, that you see around town, some people question that how does it happen that in less than a week the road is cut, they just do lean concrete and they place elements on the road, and in less than no time they cover. It's because it's a precasting process. So you see the elements are ready here and they are waiting. Each section of the road that has this dimension. This is dimension 1 meter 50 by 1 meter 50. The other dimensions of 1 meter by 1 meter and dimensions of 1 meter 20 by 1 meter. It depends on each passage. The others we do casting in situ, as you see around taxation. But in less than no time, you shall see some streets ready. And people shall start questioning that how did it happen so soon? But it is because of the precasting process that we anticipated. So many people may be complaining that we are too slow, nothing is happening, but so much is happening here. Yes. This team is not working because they are waiting for the concrete batching plant to start. That's why you are not seeing anybody here. If you come by in an hour's time, you see elements being produced. You can see the concrete batching plant. Material has already been loaded. This is the pot that you see. Cement comes from cement cam or Dangote and others, but here we use cement following pre-trials that we did with different types of cement. What is approved here is Dangote and cement cam that we are using. It comes directly in powder and it's pumped directly into the pot. And what comes out now is a mixture of the cement, sand, and gravel. And that's what we refer to as concrete. There are two types of concrete that we use. Concrete produced from cement and bituminous concrete, which we generally refer to as quota, as we can call it here in our jargons. The tar road. They don't put quota for here. But in reality, in technical terms, is bituminous as concrete, generally referred to as quota. In technical terms, you can also talk about asphalt. And the roads we have here in town, there are two different types of asphalt. In normal terms, we say iron bending process. Here we are preparing the gutter units, the retaining wall units, because most of the retaining walls that we have to do in town for time constraints, we do precasting. And after the precasting process, we prepare the lean concrete, we prepare the surface and align them and complete the casting on the spot. It goes faster, that's the advantage. And to catch up with time, this is what we have to do so that the rainy season does not meet us with such heavy activities still to carry on. So we start here with the iron bending process. These are iron benders. These which have been designed is strictly on measurements. They don't just do anything.
Okay, so as you see the machines working on the roads, you should also bear in mind that a lot is happening behind the curtains that we don't see. We only for a day just wake up to discover that a street is being worked on and completed, because most of the material that are going to be used are already being worked on. But one very famous junction in Bamenda is called Ingen Junction. It's also witnessing transformation works ongoing there. But Ms. Tanzi is going to give us a clearer picture of what they intend to do there.
your project passes actually through Geng, and Geng is one of the out and in way within the city of Bamenda. Given that many people say Bamenda is the city of future, and today we are talking of a road, why not put up a crossover here to make Bamenda look like city of future? Tell us.
Yes, we are here at the popular Geng Junction, one of the most popular junctions in Bamenda. And as you can see, it's a junction with multiple entrances. The idea of a bypass, a flyover, is a new idea that has just been brought up this year, 2026. The initial designs and the initial proposals from the project owner. The project owner, let me remind you that the project owner is the Cameroon government, represented by the Minister of Public Works. And the initial designs and the contracts and everything didn't talk of a bypass, didn't talk of a flyover. And we are respecting our contract specifications, despite the fact that proposals have come, popular cries have come, but our contract and technical proposals that we were given, with which we are working, don't have any issue with flyovers here. Anyway, the way we are constructing this passage, this junction, gives an allowance, a comfortable allowance for a flyover to come after, without any disruption. Because the next thing is that our population, our people being who they are going to say that we are building something that in a few years, or in a few months' time, shall be destroyed because a flyover shall come. We are building, taking into consideration that the project owner may eventually source for funding to do a flyover here. So all our technical specifications are going to take every aspect concerning a flyover into consideration, but we are not doing a flyover here.
Okay, also conscious of the fact that electricity, talking about energy, is not very constant, not only in Bamenda. In Douala, we also are facing acute outages in electricity. The guys of Burns, they have taken dispositions to ensure that there is consistency, continuation in what they are doing. And reason why they have put in place a standby generator to make sure that works are ongoing 24 hours.
Energy. We have a standby generator for self-run such that we can work without interruptions. We know the greatest difficulty we have now is time. And if we rely only on the state-owned energy supply unit, we shall be in difficulties. That's why this generator is here. Yes, these are capstones. They are ready for use. And progressively we are taking them to the sections of the road which are ready. We simply collect and go to the sections of the road which are ready. This is material to when we are close to the surface dressing sections of the road. That's where we use this material. They are capstones, as we refer to them. In French, they call them of autonomy in terms of equipment and energy supply, so that we can go faster. They have their water supply behind, they have their vibrating cable, and they have their supply units for material, such that they can work independently. This other thing is for gutter units, the U-gutters as we generally refer to them. So for now they are removing the material that they prepared yesterday. These are gutters which were precasted yesterday. They remove and get ready and cast new ones. And they produce an average of 20 gutter units per day. Yes. So you see, they do have their own autonomy. They have a fixed concrete mixer. They have their sand supply and water supply behind. And they have their pipeline behind. So they can work independently. That is independent. And we have a standby concrete mixer. That if there is a problem we can use. That's it there.
Okay, I have been enjoying myself out here in our studios here at Fengudon Mbange. What is happening out there in Bamenda? It has been a long cry for the people of the Northwest region, because Bamenda actually has been a shadow of itself for more than 10 years. The town had become very dusty, nasty, and actually it did not look like the Bamenda people knew in the past. We hope that the works are going to be done respecting the time limit, and that once again the Bamenda is going to reflect that beautiful city and beautiful capital of the Northwest region of Cameroon. But what projects, what aspects of the road construction is this Burns Construction company involved in? Because they are two separate funders to what is happening there. Can we get a clearer picture of what Burns is doing in Bamenda?
Société Burns here in Bamenda is running projects supervised by two different financing authorities, the World Bank and the C2D project in partnership with Razel and Mark. So I'm here to show you a section of the C2D project constructed by Burns, which is ongoing. Here we are at the beginning of Vicky Street, and the culverts have been completed. The retaining walls are 80% completed. We are now preparing the surface, because this section of the road, it is the type of road structure that we refer to as RCC type of roads. And here, it's one of them. We shall move along and I explain to you in detail. Vicky Street. And Vicky Street, in the real terms for road construction, is the section from Nanga Bakery Junction to Small Mancon Junction, close to La Chance Bridge. This is one of the roads under the C2D program that Burns is constructing. And the C2D program has its own specifications for its roads. It is the RCC types of roads. The RCC, generally, we can explain to the public that the final surface dressing shall be on cement concrete. It shall not be bituminous concrete. And here we have completed all the 7-box culverts for this road, for this street. We have completed the gutters. What is remaining is the outlets to carry the waters, the running waters, far into the stream. But here, as you can see, the road is ready for the next phase of work. We are treating the subgrade, and after the subgrade, as you can see, today we are preparing to start with the subbase. The subbase is laterite, but the laterite shall be treated with cement. It shall be the cement stabilization type of road structure. and that is the base course. After that level, when every test results shall be approved, we shall come now with the surface dressing, which is the ROCC type, cement-based concrete. And I want to assure the public that it shall be a good growth structure that can easily be maintained by the local authorities, the council. But the life expectancy shall still be above 25 years. Of this street is referred to in our technical terms, in our contract, as the road from Back Market to Kamkul Aziri. It's a distance of 680 linear meters. Construction under Societe bonds. As you can see, we have just started. This is the lean concrete process going on. And after the lean concrete, the gutter units that you saw, we shall just bring them and align them, seal the joints. And after 3 days, we can fill behind and start preparing the soft grade of the road. Here you have gutters on both sides of the road. The width of the road is 7 meters. You have gutters, and then after the gutters, behind the gutters, you have the shoulders. In some areas it's 1 meter, in some areas it's up to 2 meters. That's the summary here. For this street, you have retaining walls, you have box culverts, and not many. You have just 2 box culverts and 2 major retaining walls. The little difficulty that we have here is where they refer to as back market, because the right of way has not been completely free. We are waiting for the competent authorities to solve that problem. That's where we are going to have some obstacles. But this section right up to...
Thank you, Charles Kibwa and Mr. Celestine Nzi, who has explained to us what they are doing out there as far as the Burns Construction Company is concerned with roads in Bamenda. But I can imagine how challenging it is to be carrying out these works in the Northwest region, given the context in which the Southwest and Northwest region operate. We are talking about a region plagued with the ongoing Anglophone crisis for over 80 years now. Certainly there are security amongst other challenges, as explained to us by Mr. Nzi.
Quite laudable for progress of work, what the Bamenda man sees today. Third, we know a job like this, of this type of magnitude, should be having some obstacles. Can you express to us some of the difficulties the country has for progress with the Bamenda bike project?
Yes. Not only the Bamenda urban crossing, I shall like to remind you that we started from Babaju on the 6th of March 2002. The initial project was Babaju Matters, 17 kilometers. And later, Matters will welcome to Bamenda, 18 kilometers. And then the uphill bypass, that is from Welcome to Bamenda, passing through Mela to Ecole du Champion, and from Ecole du Champion to Amumina. Today, we are doing the Bamenda urban crossing. From the 6th of March 2008, many people knew we were not going to do this because of the difficulties that you know. First, the security situation. There are minor and major difficulties. We have 3 major difficulties that we have encountered up to today. The first one, frequent ghost cars. You know about the situation, and I don't need to say much. But I will just tell you that today is, I think, the 15th of January 2026. From the 6th of March 2022, counting, we have 272 days lost due to treatment issues. I can't say much about that. You know the situation, and you know the consequences of the work. From the 6th of March 2022 to today, you know the consequences of the time lost. Many people have been criticizing and asking why we have been wasting much time. This is the major issue of the problem. Secondly, you know about the scarcity of petroleum products. It came up at one time and it was an active shortage of petroleum products. Now it comes on and off. At times there is no diesel in the market. At times there is no kerosene in the market. At times there is no petrol in the market. There are fluctuations. And those fluctuations have resulted to us losing approximately 80 days of work. But thanks to the efforts of the Minister of Public Works, I must say this, thanks to the efforts of the Minister of Public Works, he did everything possible to enroll us in the list of priorities. We get diesel directly from SDP Babusa. And there we have a standing order, a priority, that when there is the little that they have to ration, we too are taken as priority. We should really thank him, because he did everything possible for us to understand that. And that is why we have lost just about 80 days, because of the scarcity of petroleum products. And then, the rains, climate change. During periods that we know it is the dry season, rains just come and they are even floods. They take us by surprise, and meteorologists start announcing that if you were doing this, suspend this, when we are been taken by surprise. And you have to remodify your planning, and that makes you to lose time. It has had an impact. At least 40 days have been lost because of climate change. Yes. The other aspects are manageable, but I don't need to talk about.
Now, sir, tell us, what message do you have for the population of Bamenda and road users?
Particularly, I shall like to thank in general, not only the population of Bamenda, but the population from Babaji, Matazu, Santa, the first town in the northwest that received us, and right into the city of Bamenda. Through them, we felt the sufferings of the people. Despite the doubts at the beginning, they quickly understood that we were not politicians, we are technicians. They understood that we came here for a road project and not for campaign, political campaign.
Thank you immensely, Mr. Ndi Celestine, who works for Burns Construction Company, as well as to you, Charles Kebwa, who actually took the courage, took the mic out there to help our audience understand what is happening. So, televiewers, that is the state of what is happening out there in the Northwest Regional Capital, Bamenda, as far as road construction works are concerned. We are going to be bringing you updates as the works are going to be progressing. We hope that other companies or the Burns itself is going to open its doors to us when next we come to help tell the people understand that this time it's for real, it is not campaign, and that the roads are going to be fixed, and once again Bamenda is going to become beautiful, the Bamenda that we have known in the past. We thank you guys, and we are going to move straight to the next phase of our program tonight to talk about goal setting. whether it is whether it truly improves our performance at all the levels. If you set a goal and work according to the goal that you've set for yourself, does it help in any way to improve what you are doing? How important is it to set your goals? And we have called once again our guys from FADMA who are with me in the studio to talk about goal setting. If you are planning to open a shop, you are planning to engage in any project, it is time to get a pen and paper so that you can take down some notes, see how you can implement what they're going to be sharing with us here for optimum output in whatever endeavor we engage in. We're going to be discussing on this with Mr. Neighbor Paul, who is with me. Good evening, Mr. Neighbor Paul. We're glad to have you.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening, televiewers. It's a wonderful evening to be here with you, and today we are discussing something that's very important that touches all of us. And I know you are all out there watching over there in Bamenda, in Damukong Street, in Bafut, why not Limbe Boyan, all over Cameroon, and of course my media prime is on satellite, so I know you're watching from all over the world. All of us struggle with, in one way or the other, to be able to set and achieve goals, and this is a topic that is so open and touches everybody. It's not just us in the studio who are going to bring in these ideas, but you seated out there and watching is supposed to bring your contribution so that we can discuss this, and why not sharpen ourselves and have the best out of 2026. Today is the 22nd of January 2026. I'm sure at the beginning of the year, you must have set some goals and you really intend to achieve them. But is that easy? It has never been. But is that possible? Yes, and we are going to be ironing that out here today.
We also are discussing this evening with Ayon File, who works for FADMA at the Department of Customer Service. Good evening. We're glad to have you.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Well, today we'll be talking about goal setting and how we can implement, improve our performance. And what I can say is, when you set goals for yourself, it will definitely improve your productivity in all aspects of your life. So to those watching me, they should know already that goals are very important. You cannot live your life without setting goals for yourself, and goals will help you improve your performance.
Okay, goals are very, very important. We should endeavor to set goals whenever we want to achieve and make ourselves outstanding in any domain we find ourselves. Mr. Orakoton is also going to be part of tonight's discussion. We're glad to have you.
Thank you, Mr. Leo, and good evening to all televiewers of my Media Prime. It's an amazing evening for all of us as we dive into the topic on goal setting. Like Mr. Paul likely said, this year all of us have set goals for one or two reasons, one or two endeavors. We keep setting goals, but the funniest part of it is that we don't realize those goals for one or two reasons. So in today's section, we are going to dive into what are the peculiarities of goal setting, Mr. Leo.
Happy New Year. You've not been here since this year started?
No, I've been behind the scene. I've been doing a lot of work behind the scene, so there's not been a lot of time coming on camera. But I'm very happy to be here today.
I thought you went to Canada.
I did still going to Canada.
I don't know.
I'm there, Mr. Leo. I'm there. I've just been behind the scene working.
I was surprised to hear that Mr. Rock is still around. He's going to be here. Mr. Paul, you were in the studio when we watched what's happening in Bamenda. A dream come true?
Yes, Mr. Leo, a dream come true, a relief to a Bamenda child sang that I am. I was in Bamenda in December, and I can assure you, Bamenda was pretty dusty. Like, man, I went around and I was just questioning myself. Back in the days, in the mid 2000s, when we were living in Bamenda, the roads were not that big, but at least there was some tar road and the dust was not really too much. But now that the roads are almost completely finished, and then the ongoing construction makes the town really dusty. But I am happy that this dusty part of it is like the last level that Bamenda people are going to see a lot of dust, because with what this company that is constructing these roads have done, all the way from Babaju down to somewhere at Kum, if I'm not missing it, then I can imagine how Bamenda is going to look like in the next few months. I mean, it's a town of the future, and we all look forward to that future, Mr. Leo.
Okay, let's look at goal setting. Why is it very important?
Mr. Leo, goals are very important because we are like humans. We are like a ship that sets sail, and if you set sail without any destination, you are going to be blown to every direction by the wind in the sea, and at the end of the day, you are not going to reach anywhere. By the way, I want to start by letting you understand what goals are. What are goals? Goals are, just future destinations that guide our present actions, that guides our present behavior. This particular year, 2026, this is exactly where I want to be. This is what I want to achieve by December 2026. So now, what exactly am I supposed to do in order to get there? Is very important. A human being who is living and doesn't have goals is a lost human being, because you're going to find yourself, jumping from pillar to post, finding yourself in different programs where you're not supposed to be. At the end of the day, you have nothing to show for. And somehow, we like human beings, we tend to align so much with really setting goals but not doing anything to achieve them. This is so exemplary in the fact that you always see on the 31st night of December, you see our churches filled, and I'm asking myself, this overflowing churches, does it mean that these people, they just came into town to attend church service, to attend masses, or these people are all really there in within the year, and they don't show up in church, and they only show up on the 31st? That's the same way how we show up to our goals. On the 31st night, still we say we create new year resolutions. This is what I'm going to do, and so on and so forth. And it ends that day, and in the course of the second, the third, and the rest of the year, we go back to our default settings. We go back to our usual habits, and we keep getting the same results at the end of every year. And at the end of every year, we almost look surprised, like we did not achieve what we intended to. So goals are just an intention, but we don't have the right actions. You don't put in the right work that can permit you to achieve those goals. Then they are just intentions, and they are going to end there just like wishes. And you find yourself setting goals over and over, and not having any achievement at the end. As human beings, we have different goals in our different aspects of our life. We have social goals, we have health goals, we have financial goals, we have career goals. Every aspect of our goal of our life needs goals. Why? Because goals become like the compass that directs every step that we take in a day. Sometimes when people who have goals and don't achieve them, or those who don't have goals at all, they tend to look at those who set goals and actually carry on the initiative to achieve them, like people who belong somewhere, who have engaged some mysterious powers to achieve whatever thing they have achieved. But what I've known and what I've been able to do in my life is that I understand that when you set goals and you actually giving the work that is required, at the end you find yourself excited, because achievements have the way, they give you that self-fulfillment and happiness attaining what you really intended to attain, Mr. Leo.
Okay, so goals are there for us to meet what we intend to achieve. What are the main reasons why many people set goals but still fail to achieve them?
Mr. Leo, to me, some people that they demand too big.
Okay.
They just want it there at that same time. They don't want to go through the process, because we say goals, it takes the clarity path they are supposed to take for you to reach where you want to go to. Because these goals, we say in maths, it creates a boundary where there is a close end which you cannot go out, but there's an open end which you can keep progressing. So there is no close end where you have to put yourself inside. And most people, they don't want to start from the beginning of the journey. They just want it today. It's based on what we are seeing every day in the field, with people who come for consulting, those we train, those we talk to. Everybody just want it now, and they don't know that these goals are like instructions, or they are like programs in a computer that needs to be executed. And for it to be executed, it needs to go through a step-by-step process until it reaches its final end. Somebody comes in today, in the typical example, somebody tells you, okay, he wants to start content creation, but he wants to have the follow. His goal is to get the followers, but he does not want to follow the steps on how to get followers. He does not want to follow the steps on how to make money from content creation. Once they start today and tomorrow they don't succeed, they just give up. So people easily give up when it comes to fulfilling their goals, not because their goals are not achievable, but because they don't want to be patient and they don't want to put in the work to achieve those goals, Mr. Leo.
Okay, you talked about wanting to rush through processes. That is, we are setting goals. You've seen Dangote succeeding in business. You've seen maybe another person succeeding in business. I stay with Mr. Orok, please. You see many persons succeeding, maybe driving big cars, living in big mansions, and that is your goal. You want to attain that objective without necessarily wanting to go through the steps these guys went through. Is that not the trap?
That is a trap, and it is the reason most people are failing with their goals, because you don't know the story of Mr. Paul. You don't know how he got himself where he is today. They don't know your story. For those of us who follow you on social media, we know so many young journalists who want to be like you, but they don't know your story. They don't know the paths you have crossed. They don't know the sacrifices you have made for you to attain the level you have attained today. So once they start the process today, their objective is not a 5-term project. Is that in 2 months' time, I want to be like Mr. Leo. In 2 months' time, I want to live probably from a radio station to a well-renowned TV station where they'll be seeing me every day, without understanding that maybe Mr. Leo started from probably a newspaper organ before moving to a TV station. They don't really know these processes. So it is very, very important that when we are setting goals, we should ask ourselves, where do we want to go to? Once you know where you want to go to, it gives you an idea of the process you need before reaching that destination. Once you don't know where you want to reach, I don't think those goals can be attained in any way. But we don't need to rush, Mr. Leo. There are steps, and there are well-defined steps that if we follow step by step, being consistent, being persistent, we are going to attain the results that we wish for.
Now, can goal setting work for everyone?
Yes, it can work for those who take action.
Yes, because I was going to ask whether it depend on personality, environment, and resources.
Please come again.
I'm asking whether it works for everyone, or it depends on the personality, the resources available, and the environment you put yourself in.
Well, my opinion is when you're setting goals, you have to put in things that you can control.
Okay.
Like if you want to become someone eloquent, or you want to lose weight. Let me take a common example. You will not depend maybe on a coach, though it's also important. You depend on your ability to be disciplined. Like you trust yourself that if I tell myself I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. But some people who set goals, but they are not disciplined or committed enough to follow the steps. And they are not patient, as Mr. Hudson said. So to achieve your goals, you need to be patient, you need to be disciplined, and you need to take action. If you set goals and you don't take action, definitely you will not achieve them. Because setting goals is not a magic thing that will just happen overnight. It requires action.
You want to achieve something, you must work a lot on the aspect of discipline.
Yes.
It is the force that will drive you towards the goal. Yes. Why is discipline very important? And also the environment. Anyway, environment works with discipline. You want to pass your GCE examinations, and every day that is the goal you've set for yourself. And every day you are in the nightclub. That environment doesn't permit you to attain your goal.
Yes, Mr. Leo. You know, discipline is there's self-restraint not to do particular things because you want to achieve something particular, and it happens to be one of the most difficult things that can happen to a man, especially when you have to do that on your own. It's easy for me to tell Fayel, because she's my support leader, that don't do this, stay this, do like this, do like that. But For me, as an individual, to discipline myself, that is the most challenging thing, and that is the utmost thing that is needed, especially as goal setting is concerned. Because when it comes to goal setting, people only say, I want to do this, I want to do this, and the end there, that's why in a larger scale, people don't achieve what they really set out to achieve, because they don't understand the aspect of discipline. This is how it functions as far as goal setting is concerned. This is where discipline sets in. Now, this is what I want to achieve. What exactly can contribute to my achievement of these particular goals? You state that out, and you make sure that you stick to that. That's where discipline comes in. You stick to that so that you achieve your goals. Now you also look on the other side. What is that thing that if I do, that is going to derail me from my objective, from attending my goals? And you stick to the fact that you don't go that way. You understand? Like Mr. Leo is a journalist. He's very eloquent and he knows how to talk in front of the camera very well. But Mr. Leo has to know that maybe if he consumes substances like alcohol, it will play on his voice and he will not be able to eloquent on TV. So he has to restrain himself, irrespective of the urge and satisfaction that he gets from alcohol, because he has to perform well on TV. He stays away from it. So it comes on both ways, and there's no way you can get there, especially at the top. There are things that you can play on the base and you cope with, but if you must go to the top level, to that 10% that is in your industry, then there must be a lot of restraint. Sometimes when I watch football, I learn a lot. When I see how these guys flex their muscles, I begin to wonder and imagine how much work they do behind the scene, how much training they do, so much so that they will have to, hit each other, falls, jump and fall and all of that, and they still get up and go. It's because of the discipline that they have been able to fashion their muscles to be firm enough to be able to sustain them when they are performing what they are actually performing. So in whatever thing that you're doing, there are certain things that you have to do that can only you can only be helped by discipline in order to do those things, or not to do those things, so that you can have the right mindset, the right health, the right body frame that permits you to excel and be at the top of your performance in that particular thing that you are doing.
Okay. Yes, we're talking about setting goals and discipline, very, very important. What about your entourage, your company? Does it matter in achieving the goals you set for yourself?
I'll explain that from the perspective of the Bible. One thing that I'm doing recently is I'm studying the Bible a lot. I'm trying to understand the philosophy of Jesus Christ and how the guy was able to, build a ministry that has lasted for 2026 years and counting. One thing I noticed that when he came and he was going around preaching, people wanted to follow him everywhere he went. But he singled out some 12 people that had to be his close collaborators. Mr. Leo, that sends a strong message about our entourage. Irrespective of the fact, there were times that he goes preaching somewhere and people come around, he has to ask that his entourage to follow him to the other side of the river so that they can get away, from them. It doesn't mean that he wasn't objective enough to perform what he needed to perform, but he understood that at any point in time he cannot be around everybody. And it's same with us. It's same with us as humans. Whatever thing you want to do in this life, you have to make sure that you align yourself with people that are contributing to you, because we as humans, we are like open antennas. We pick from vibrations, we pick from communication, we pick from contribution from our community. Look at the languages we speak. You understand? We speak. I speak Bafut because I grew up in Bafut. Nobody sat me in class to teach me Bafut, but because it was spoken around me, I speak Bafut. I mean, that's same with everything that we do. Because you want to achieve something, if you keep people around you who are practicing things that are not in favor of what you want to achieve, sincerely, it is going to be a huge challenge for you. One preacher once said, if you are working with 5 thieves, you do not count well. You are the 6th. You are actually 6 of you, because we we humans, we function like, there's something we learn in primary school known as the pollen dust effect, that we plant white corn and red corn. At the end of the day, you are going to harvest all red corn. What? Because the pollen dust of red corn is very strong and it's going to contaminate that of white corn. And at the end of the day, you are going to have all white corn. So it is same with whatever thing you want to achieve. I'm a digital marketer. I want to be one of the best in Cameroon, in Africa, and why not the world? And I spend my time with people who have nothing to do with the computer, talk less of digitalization, talk less of AI. I will never get there. I will never, because iron sharpened iron. So I have to hang around people that in one way or the other, and sincerely there are times that I am weak on this journey. And Mr. Henry has to say, guy, we have to keep doing this thing. Mr. Arok has to say, guy, we have to keep doing this thing. Same like fire, and there are times that they are also weak, and I have to encourage them. So you need to keep yourself in a milieu where you fashion each other to be able to stick to your goal. Else you're going to shy away unintentionally. Sometimes you are doing it unintentionally, but life occurs in in momentum. You create a bit, you do something today, it creates a bit of momentum. Sometimes you don't see it. It's like you're in the gym and you are trying to build your muscles. You carry the iron maybe 5 times today, you don't see any reaction. You carry tomorrow 5 times, third, fourth, the 5th day, you start seeing a vein, coming out. Before you know it, your muscles are accumulating. But if you do the weightlifting for 2 days, and the next day, the third and the fourth and the 5th day, you are somewhere eating a fat loaf of fufu and drinking sha, I don't go to the gym again. You have already broken that momentum. When you go back to the gym, you'll be like you're starting from square one. Of which, if you have stick around people that they are encouraging you, hey guys, don't eat this thing, don't drink this thing, because you have this particular goal that you have to achieve, and they too are not consuming that because you all have the same objective, Mr. Leo, somehow it becomes easier.
Easier. Okay. Now, Mr. Orok, now, should goals be flexible or strictly followed once they are set? You say, I'm going this way. Must you adhere strictly to what has been said?
Mr. Leo, a speaker once said, once there is plan B, there's a high chance plan A will fail.
Okay.
So to me, once you put in the goals, like I earlier said, once you set your goals, there is a close end which you can't go away from. But there's an open end that allows you to keep progressing. And once you are progressing, it is very dangerous for you to start looking sideways. Once you look sideways, there's a tendency that you might go into a river. It's like moving through a very tight road. Once you decide to look around, it might be going to the bush. So it is very, very important that when you set your goals, try to be disciplined, and you need to believe. If I say believe, might be there's an iota of doubt in belief. So you need to know that your entire success depends on the success of that goal that you've set. If you are starting a business, I think your goal is to meet people. If your goal is to meet people, okay, I want to meet 100 people today, but out of the 100 people I want to meet, I need at least 10 of them to retain my name. That is my goal. But in doing that, you might exceed the 10 limit that you set for yourself. There are days that you might not reach even the 10 that you have set to yourself. But if you decide that, no, tomorrow let me look at something different. Tomorrow let me look at something different. So many people have derailed themselves from being successful or from attaining real success because they decided to look at other options instead of trying to optimize so that that particular goal can work. We say in paid advertisement that the more you optimize, the more tendency that that product is going to be sold. So you need to keep optimizing. You need to keep improving probably on what you're doing. If probably you are talking to 10 people a day, you want to sell, you can increase the number of people you talk to a day. You keep doing the same thing every day. You be persistent and consistent. You always show up for it. There is a day. They say in maths that there is a point where 2 parallel lines will meet.
Okay, there is a point where 2 lines are going to meet. Now, is how do we discover that a goal we are setting for ourselves or for our company is unrealistic, and how dangerous is that?
Well,
setting unrealistic goals.
Unrealistic goals. There's one thing, when you're setting goal for yourself, you know yourself.
Okay.
You know the things that you can do and you cannot do. So when you're setting goals for yourself, you have to be realistic when putting it. For example, if you want to start reading, you don't go ahead taking maybe thick books, like 500 pages, because you're still beginning the journey. You aim for little, like 100 pages books that can build the momentum. And when you start having that habit of reading books, then you can aim for the big books. But if you're setting goals for yourself and you just start aiming those big books, definitely you're being unrealistic, because at the journey of you reading that book, you might stop.
When we say being realistic here and unrealistic, what are we talking about? Is it counting the cost, being practical, or engaging projects in faith? Because with faith we believe things that we believe which are not. But even the Bible tells us that nobody builds a house without counting the cost. Is that where the danger is here? I believe that I will make it, but also encouraged by you guys, motivational speakers. Yes, you keep saying that as you believe it, so shall it be. Is that not also where the confusion comes?
Mr. Leo, it depends on exactly where you want to go.
The motivational speaker tells you that as a man thinketh.
Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah. So people just say, okay, I want this house, this big house, and I must work for it.
No. There's a level of being realistic. Being realistic means that you can be able to measure how far you can go. But there are also goals that you, at the beginning, you don't measure how far you can go. You have the picture of how far you can go, and there is no existing data that can help you to determine if truly you can go that far, and you end up going that far. Because truly that's how innovations happened. If you look at maybe the light bulb, when this gentleman was trying to create the light bulb, there was no realistic data that could show that he could actually create the light bulb, but he kept going. That's where the limitlessness of humans come into play. At one point in time, man could not fly, but we have a mass of structure now called the aeroplane, a helicopter that flies. It means that at one point in time, those guys who discovered that they were not being realistic, because being realistic, they did not have any statistics that something can fly like that, and they achieved it. We have ships that are a ton of, hundreds of thousands of tons of weight that float on water, of which a small stone drop in water sinks. At the time they were creating that, they were principally unrealistic data that could really assure them that they are going to arrive there, but they did arrive. So we also understand that, but now we also understand that when you are setting goals, there's need for you to be able to be realistic, to have what we call SMART goals, where you have to be able to know some particular points, some measurable points that you can be able to reach, to be sure that you are achieving that goal. Because one thing I had to realize over time is that sometimes we just set goals, and because maybe we've seen somebody arrive there, we don't look at the resources, the opportunities that person have, and then we throw ourselves at it, and then at the end of the day we do all the magic we can do, and we don't achieve those goals. And at the end of the day we feel broken, we feel depressed, because we painted a very beautiful picture of an end that we wanted to achieve, and we did everything in our disposal in the course of the year, and we did not arrive there. So you have to always paint the two pictures and know exactly where you are headed to, because those who discovered the light bulb and all the discoveries we have around, the fact that they were not being realistic, they already conditioned their mind. That's why they failed a couple of times and they kept going. You understand? But if you want to be counting only on what you've been able to achieve, or somebody as us have ever achieved, and the moment you don't get that, you start struggling and thinking that it's not, it is not possible. There's something I want to say about setting goals in the course of the year. There's something that we do where we set goals, especially at the beginning of the year, that makes us struggle all through the year. Like, this is January, and you tell yourself, okay, this year I am going to make 10 million, for example. You've never made 1 million francs in your life, and you just say you want to make 10 million. You have not questioned yourself what are the particular activities that you can carry out that can permit you to take 1 million, to have 1 million. What are the activities that those people who make 10 million, carry out? And you just say you want to make 10 million. That's where failure starts. And the second step of failure is that when you say you want to make 10 million, you quickly go and take 10 million and you divide it by 12 months of the year, which means that approximately you have to be making around 900,000, income every month. And January you don't make even 300,000, and you start regretting that, oh, I wanted to make 10 million this year, and this January that is gone and I've not made it. So you start putting pressure on yourself, and at the end of the day, you don't even go anything near to 10 million. This is how you actually distribute goals over time. If you follow the way systems and engines, for example, are created in the world. Let me use the example of a car. Cars don't start at gear 3. Cars start at gear 1, which means that if you structure your goals, the first achievement that you set at the beginning should be like the lower part of a ladder, where you can put your leg there and at least let it be a step ahead, and then you can put your next step and then as you are going up, you find yourself achieving the goals with ease. Don't take your goals and distribute them evenly over the years. It could be like, okay, I want to do this particular year, I want to sell this particular product this number this year. Okay, good and fine. I want to use digital marketing to sell, for example. And the thing you have to ask yourself is, do I master digital marketing? Maybe that's where you have to start, by learning a skill that can help you to actually carry those sales and make that return. No, I don't master digital marketing. But there's a certain school that I've been watching on TV, I've been seeing on social media, that's called the African Academy of Digital Marketing, that talks about digital marketing. Oh, boom. You quickly corner them. Guys, this is what I want to do this year. How can your program help me to be able to skill enough to sell these products? I will not tell you, okay, fine. We understand that you want to learn these skills, and we understand that there are several of you out there who need skills like this. That's why we have created an automated course system where you can acquire each of 42,000 francs, and at your disposal in your own time, you can be able to go through the course, and through our mentorship, guidance, and weekly trainings, you'll be able to master digital marketing in 1 month, and you'll be equipped to handle the rest of the year, being able to maneuver digital tools and make sales. How does that sound? It's all about you seeking where you want to go. Ask yourself what tools you need, and you equip yourself first. Don't say you want to swim and you don't learn how to swim in shallow waters, and go and jump in deeper waters because you want to achieve big goals like somebody else, and you find yourself struggling. So this thing, the excitement is always there at the beginning, but I can assure you, this is 22nd of January, the excitement has died for so many people who plan massive goals at the beginning of the year. Some cannot even remember the goals, Mr. Leo. Yes,
yes, Mr. Orok, how dangerous is it to live without a goal? That is, you are just living, you go to school, the objective is just to have a certificate, you come and sit at home, hoping that an uncle is going to connect you to one job, and you just know that as a child you should be clocked. You go to school, you have your certificate, you need a job, you're just living. Is it dangerous or is normal?
It is very, very dangerous to live without having goals for your life. It's like you are living like you are not living, because you don't know the different milestones. You don't know if you've attained a particular milestone in your life. You know absolutely nothing about your life. You don't know if you're progressing or you're actually going down, because there is no goal for you, or there are no rules, or there are no setups for you to check to know that, oh, this month I actually said I'm going to make 50K, but the month has come to an end, I've not made 50K. What were the challenges? What was the problem? What are the possible solutions for me to make better the coming month? You know absolutely nothing, because you have no goal. There are no rules about your life. It means that you are actually indisciplined about how you do your things, because a disciplined person actually sits with goals. They know how to move their lives, they know how to grow their businesses, they know how to go about their education. Even the child that is in class 1 actually has goals, because they want to be the first in class, and they know that for them to be the first in class, they need to increase their study time. They need to actually increase the way they master some particular subject. once they don't have that in their mind, that okay, this is where I want to be at the end of the term, you see, they study as if they don't want to study, they come to school as if they don't want to come to school. To them, it's just a fiasco. They're just doing it to satisfy other persons, not that they're satisfying themselves. Because once you set a goal and you attain those goals, you become extremely happy and motivated. And I think the highest motivation is someone's self, not what a motivational speaker said or what you read from a book, because you are the highest book. Nobody, I don't think somebody knows you more than you know yourself. I don't think at a particular age you need someone to motivate you for you to do better with your life, because you know exactly where it pains you and you know exactly what you can take off for you to do better. If you are stuck somewhere, you know exactly the reason why you are stuck there, and you look at some of the things you can do for you to pick up and for you to get moving with your life. So if you are living without goals, or you set the goals at the beginning of 2026 that by this January ending you are going to start doing this, and it's already January 22nd, you don't have an idea about on how to go about it, or you have even forgotten. Some people went to church on the 31st. I don't think since this month started they have been to church anymore. It's just to those are people who live without goals. Because if your goal was that, okay, I'm going to embrace Christ this year, and after 3 weeks of Sunday services you've not been to church, it means that it was never a goal, it was just a fiasco. So it is very, very dangerous. It is very, very dangerous. At times we want to look into our goals only at the end of it. Okay, I said I'll create 10 contents in 7 days. It's day number 5. You've not created one. So in day number 6 and 7, you are going to create 10 contents at the same time, just so that you can attain your goal. Facebook does it for people right now. If you go to your dashboard, every week Facebook sets the goal for its users, and they might say, okay, this week you have 10, you create 10 posts, you need 1,000 reactions, you need 10 followers and all that, and you realize that some people start creating this content only on day number 5, when Facebook have sent them a notification that, okay, you've not started your weekly challenge, or someone have posted a screenshot that they have attained their weekly challenge. Because these goals are like weekly or monthly or yearly challenges that you can create for yourself, and it is very, very important because it gives you the pathway to your success, Mr. Leo.
Okay, pathway to your success. Now I want us to get practical from a customer service perspective at Fatma. How does goal setting improve service delivery and customer satisfaction?
Well, when I'm setting goals, the main thing is to make the customer feel at home and feel welcome and feel they warm when you're home, right? So what I do is I work on my customer service skills all the time. Like I watch videos on how to be a better customer service, how to handle issues, or how to handle complaints when customer come, or how to answer a client when they come maybe with hot temper. So what I do as a customer service, I give myself like, okay, I have to work on my emotional intelligence. Okay. Because most of the time when the customer comes, it's not like they have a personal problem with you. It's just about maybe the external factors. So you as a customer service, you have to work on your emotional intelligence. You have to work on your problem solving skills, and for that you have to watch maybe videos that will equip you with all those skills. So those are goals I set for myself.
Yes, but is the goal also looks like I've set a goal that if I receive 10 persons making inquiry on our services, at least 7, I should get 7 of them at least to engage business with a farmer. Yes,
then now I have to work on my sales skills, on how to persuade them, on how beneficial the program will be to them. When the customer comes, he will give his request, like what he wants to achieve and everything. Now I'm supposed to shape the AFAMA program and by answering the question that the person has. If the person wants to, for example, learn how to run ads, or maybe learn how to acquire customers online, I will talk about how the program will help them, maybe by learning Facebook ads, how to create content, how to market, or how to utilize the tools that will permit you to acquire clients online. And definitely they are going to make sale. But for that to happen, they'll have to learn the skills. So that's how I interact with the customer that comes with their own requests.
Now, many persons who may be watching will be asking, how do I set goals? What type of goals should I set for myself? And is it better to set smaller goals or to go to very big ones?
Well, it depends. It depends on what very big goals are or what small goals are. It depends on an individual. Don't set goals that you've seen somebody setting. You know, don't set goals because you think that somebody somewhere was able to hit a particular mark. It's always good to do your own measurability. It's good to know where your line is. It's good to know on what level you are with your journey. So to me, there's nothing like very big goals and very small goals, because you can set very small goals and you don't put any effort to achieve them, and it makes no use. You can set very big goals. We're advised to dream big anyway. We are advised to, see a bigger picture, always think limitless until the limitation comes. You can set big goals and you don't take any initiative, and it all ends there. So to me, it's not about the goals, it's not about how big, it's not about the size, the big or the small size, but it's about the effort, it's about the discipline, it's about the actions towards that, it's about the behavior, it's about your daily habits on how you can be able to contribute, drop after drop, to be able to achieve that goal. It's like you have water dripping from your tap in the bathroom, for example. If just a single drop every 5 seconds, and you put that bucket there, at the end of the day, by morning you sleep, by morning you're going to have it filled. It wasn't about the amount of water that was flowing that filled the bucket. It was about the constant drop that is also equal to the constant effort that you can be putting towards that goal that can end up, having that big achievement. But if that bucket is there and then there's no water dripping from the tap, all for 6 months, 1 year, the bucket will be dry. And if there was even small water in that bucket at the beginning, over time, if there's no dropping, even the small water that was there is going to dry off. So we have to understand that it is our efforts, it is our engagement, it is the discipline, the behavior, the daily habits that matter in the goals attainment and achievement, Mr. Leo.
Okay, Mr. Hudson, setbacks and failures, how do they fit in to the goal setting process?
I think setbacks, failures is just part of the journey.
Okay.
You are going to hit the rock, you are going to fall. But if you fall once, you should get up twice. At the very minute, you should get up, because there's no way you succeed without failing. He that fails has already a pathway to succeed, if you are looking at it at the positive end. But if you think that when you set your goals, you should look at just its limitation, you should look at just the number of failures that you have had or that you have in that process, it means you don't actually believe in what you're doing, or you don't know what you're doing. Because once you know what you're doing and you have the conviction that this particular decision I've taken, and you're disciplined about it, you are going to be focused, you are going to put in the effort. Mr. Paul talked about the little drops. You'll be consistent. You leave that tap open for those little drops to keep on, because that is what waters that soil before that seed is going to germinate. So if the seed actually falls and you don't water it for it to germinate, you say, it has fallen, let me abandon it, there's no way it's going to germinate, there's no way it's going to grow, then you don't know what you're doing. You don't believe that this thing can work. You need to believe in those goals. Once you set it, know that it might fail, but don't believe that it will fail. have it behind your mind that your goals might not be attained at the end of the day, but you must put in your maximum effort, put in your very best until the very last end, that there is no way out. That's when you can say, okay, I have failed in this goal, I have failed in this particular decision. But I don't think, and I don't believe, I've not seen anyone that have put in the work that needs to be put for something to succeed, and they end up saying that no, it was a failure. Once you put in the work and your discipline, I think during our recent summit, the Digital Landlord Summit, one of our guest speakers, the first thing he said during his presentation was discipline. Discipline. Once you are not disciplined, you are bound to fail. Once you are not disciplined, you are bound to fail. Those goals will not work. You will fail. You'll be limited in so many ways, because what these goals is like a pathway. It creates you clarity on how you are going to proceed, on how you are going to engage with the challenges you have, or the challenges you are going to face. You are going to prepare for tomorrow. Okay, my goal for today was that I'm going to do this. Have I done it? Okay, I've done it. At that very moment, I'm preparing for the goal for tomorrow. What did I say I will do tomorrow? I start it then. But once I'm not disciplined enough to put in the work, I'm not disciplined enough to stop doing the things that are going to cause me to fail, there is no way out. You are going to fail, and you are going to blame you not attaining your goals to failure. But I'll put that to be indiscipline, Mr. Leo.
Indiscipline. Can a goal be attained without a clear work plan? Is it possible? You say, I want to buy 3 vehicles at the end of the year. There's no strategy on how to raise money. There is no investigation as to where you're going to buy the cars. You've set the goals and you hope to achieve them anyhow.
When writing down your goals, those are long term. Now you have to put in objective. Okay. Objectives are the short things that you're supposed to do to achieve that goal. Okay. For example, if you, as you said, you want to buy 3 cars, you cannot just get one money and buy 3 cars. You have to put some steps like, okay, what am I supposed to do to buy my first car before thinking of the second or the third. So having a goal without having an action plan, it will not come to pass. That's just the bitter truth. You need to have a plan to achieve your goal, and you need to also have targets that would show you that, okay, you're progressing in what you're setting for yourself. So I believe that a plan is very important when you're setting your goals.
Yes. Is it very important to take stock after each year of the progress you've made in your life?
Take stock.
Take stock, yes. By the end of the year, what have you achieved? Where did you fail? Stock taking.
Very important. You need to analyze what you have done throughout the year, so you should know what to adjust, what to keep going, and what to do next in the next year that's coming. So it's good to analyze at the end of the year. You need to make a meeting with yourself and say, okay, this year I did this year I could not do this year I have to improve in this. And that's how you are going to be more effective, productive in whatever you're engaging yourself with.
Okay. Now, for those who are watching us, Mr. Paul, I want you to give practical steps that an individual can take to make their goals more realistic and achievable this year.
Yes, practical steps on how you can make your goals more realistic and achievable this year. I have said that before, and I'm going to explain that again digitally. You know, don't have the talent of a footballer and you're setting the goals of a swimmer, for example. Don't have the talent of a sprinter and equipped as a sprinter, and you are setting goals for somebody who is supposed to be doing high jump. It is not going to work. It is not. Evaluate yourself. You know these things. You know how you have been telling yourself that this is exactly what I want to do over the years, and you have been finding yourself in the same position every year. You know, Mr. Leo, I have a couple of people that since we started doing this training at the FADMA, since we started the first training, I have a couple of people, and I post it on my status to always come and say, I'm going to do this bash. And we are in the 14th bash, in the 4th year of activity, and they are still saying the same thing. See, if you really want to do what you want to do this year, this is exactly what you have to do. If you are so concerned and know that you want to achieve that particular goal this year, this is exactly what you have to do. First, set it out. If possible, write it down. This is what I want to do this year. And step 2, get somebody that can be like a mentor to you, that can tell you, hey, don't go left again, and you respect, I don't go left. Don't go right again, and you respect, I don't go right. It is very important. We humans, we are weak, especially when it comes to habits, especially habits that we are not used to. We want to twist towards something else that we have not been doing always. We always find ourselves falling back in line with what we are used to doing. So get somebody that can guide you. The third thing that you must do is get yourself into equipping that particular aspect of you that is lacking in terms of skills that can permit you to perform at that particular goal that you want to achieve. Yes, I want to be a journalist, and so what? You need to understand what it takes to become a journalist. You need to understand that. I want to be a footballer. You need to understand that. I want to be a carpenter. You know, you need to go to a garage. I want to be a mechanic. You know all these things. Know that you need to give it time to learn and equip yourself. You understand? And the fourth thing I want to talk about is your ability to spend time with people that can help you on this journey. Believe me, the people I used to spend time with 10 years ago, very few still hang around with me. Or me, I still hang around with them because at one point in time, I wasn't fitting in their plan, and I had to switch. I would sometimes go, they could not fit in my plan, and they had to switch. Not that we are enemies, but somehow our journeys separated at one point in time. You cannot live your life trying to achieve your goals and you're struggling to satisfy all your old friends, trying to hang out around with all your primary school friends, your secondary school friends, university friends, and all the like, of which they are in different activities and different industries. You spend your time, trying to satisfy them and then deraying yourself from your goals. So in a nutshell, this is what I've said. You need the right mindset. You need the right mindset. You need the right skill set, and then you need the right actions. If you have these 3 put in place and you stay there, somehow, over time, you are going to achieve those goals that you want to achieve. Something I want to add is that don't always wait till the end of the year before you evaluate yourself. Why can't you evaluate yourself in a day? For example, how much did I do today? Why can't you evaluate yourself in a week, in a month, after 3 months, so that you should be sure that you are making progress? And sometimes you can set goals and the goals are pointing in the wrong direction and you need to change direction. So you need to understand that, because if you accelerate speed in the wrong direction, you will never achieve the goals you want to achieve. So sometimes you can as well change direction when there's evidence that this direction I'm pursuing is completely out of the rail. You have to bring back yourself, and then you can accelerate, and you're certain that you achieve what you wanted to achieve in the course of the day. And if you are out there and you're thinking that, okay, you lack what it takes to set your goals and achieve, our numbers are on the screen. Why not have us have an exchange and we talk and we see how we can guide you through. Me, I have an accountability partner. I have people that I also answer to. I have somebody that share my daily to-do list with. That I'm not sharing it because for fancy. It's because I also want to put myself under pressure that I want to achieve these goals. I have somebody that I've told them that maybe I want to buy a land this year, I want to buy a car, I want to build a house. Why do I tell them those things? So that I can put myself under pressure in order to push and be able to gather the resources that are going to necessitate that to achieve those goals.
Okay. Now, how do you measure success in goal setting?
I think you know exactly if you are successful or if you are succeeding with the goals you have once you start seeing some results, some positive results, once you start seeing some changes in your activities, some progress in your endeavors. I think that is how we start measuring the success. But I don't think we start measuring the success from the very, very beginning of that journey, because when we set the goals, we have broken them down into achievable units. And I think until we start achieving the little ones, those macro units that you have from the very beginning, that's the moment you should start looking at if you're succeeding or you're not succeeding. Mr. Paul actually said on the direction of your goals, or if immediately you realize that the goals you have set align with your objectives, they align with the end point of your journey, I think at that moment you can say, okay, I've succeeded in this. I've succeeded in structuring my goals. Because one problem that you might have is to structure these goals the right way, is to break them down into achievable units. Because you might have these goals set up, I want to make this, I want to make this, I want to be here, I want to be here, but you cannot break them down into achievable units. Once you succeed in breaking these goals down into achievable units, at that very point, we can say, okay, you are 10% into succeeding in these goals, Mr. Leo.
Okay. So you set goals, but also, is it also important to say, I want to achieve this in 9 months times, 9 months time? I also put deadline that in the next 2 months I should be by the 6th month. Is that not also a way to see whether you are meeting objective or not?
Mr. Leo, milestones are very important. Very, very important, especially milestones, timelines, date limits. They are very important. There's something that I learned with my team there at Farmer, one of our team member, Melian Hosa, she's a project engineer. When we started working, I noticed that each time we set a project, she comes out with a whole roadmap, a whole measurability roadmap where we all are connected to it online, where at any point in time, she's able to adjust it so that we can see the progress at every angle. On this aspect, for example, we have an event. At this time, we're supposed to book the hall. Has it been booked? At this time, we're supposed to discuss with speakers. Have we discussed with them? At this time, we're supposed to book a photographer. At this time, we're supposed to have already made sure that 100 people are going to be attending, and so on and so forth. It makes you to be able to shift your efforts towards that direction that needs your attention that time. Else, you are going to find yourself lost in the whole picture, and you'll be running helter-skelter. At the end of the day, you achieve a bit of this and a bit of that, and summing that up, it doesn't give you the end results that you would have wanted. So setting milestones, setting goals, exact dates, setting yardsticks that you can measure your progress over time is very important.
Now, Elfrida is watching from Bamenda, says, greetings. Is it right to help someone set goals towards a certain skill that you observe from the person?
Yes, yes, Mr. Leo. It's important, and he has to, especially when it's an adult, he has to go with the accordance of the adult. Because if you like they will say, if you take a horse to the water, you cannot force it to drink water. You can help somebody to set their goals. At one point in time in 2018, I can think so, 2018, I was really worried in my mind, and I was wondering how I can really structure my life. And I went to my priest there in a church in St. Louis. I don't know if Father Michael is watching. Maybe he has forgotten. One afternoon, I knocked his office and entered, and I told him, hey, Father, I am confused. And he said, don't be confused. I've seen you for the time I've known you. This is you, this is you, this is you. Why not structure things like this and start moving in this direction? You understand? So people can at times have certain values, have certain skills that they possess, but they don't really know how they can harness them themselves, or they don't even notice. And an onlooker, a lover, somebody who admires them, or somebody who cares about them, can say, hey, guy, focus towards this. I've had people talk to me on several occasions, especially my friends.
I remember when I went to the University of Boya.
Yes.
I actually had 2 options: becoming this
or that,
or this. And I walked up to somebody who works at the Central Administration in the University of Boya, and the person said, okay, if you are doing this, these are the options, these are the possibilities. That is, he painted out the possibility for me to end up. And then when it came to journalism, he said, yeah, with journalism, it's true, you love it, these are the options. And the picture was too plain, clean. It made yeah. So somebody can.
And sometimes when the person paints a picture, you just align easily.
Yeah.
Even though you had not thought of going to that road, but somebody now who understands better, when they paint the picture and tell you the possibilities and everything that needs you to take that road, you find yourself aligning. But initially you were lost. But Mr. Leo, that's the place of orientation in our career path. That's why we have, you know, people who are supposed to orient us and guide us on the journey. At one point in time in your life, you need somebody that points the direction and then tells you this is what you have to take for you to achieve it. Us, if you want to do it on your own, at one point in time you are limited in your reasoning. You might take the wrong direction and you are pushing. I want to give a shout out to Ma'am Frida, who is over there in Bamenda and watching us. She's a very supportive woman and she likes the initiative that we are doing. Ma'am Frida, just to let you know that early February we are coming to Bamenda. Wait for us there.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Great topic. Truth is that we set goals in good health, and at times when everything seems okay, but along the way a lot of things come into place, often to deter you from achieving these goals. How can one recover quickly and pick up to meet up? Peter is writing from Boya. You get distracted along the way because maybe you fell sick or money got finished.
It's like respecting the doctor's prescription. What do you do if you miss a day of taking your dose? Do you abandon it? Do you abandon the entire treatment? The doctors always tell you, if you miss it today, tomorrow just pick up from there. Don't look at that, okay, it was a 10-day treatment, okay, I've missed on day 5, I've missed day 5, so it's going to affect the result of day 6 to day 10. They will say from day 6, just continue going until you finish your prescription. That is exactly what we need to do with our goals. And we need to learn how to break them into little achievable units. If you're just starting in doing something, break your goals into little achievable units, little daily tasks that you know that if you perform those tasks, they are going to have huge impact on the productivity of whatsoever you want to do. But if you want to do everything, so you want to do your weekly tasks on a particular day, I think it's going to be very difficult. But if you break your weekly tasks into little daily tasks that you can perform, I think it's going to be very, very helpful.
So each person, what advice would you give to someone who feels stuck despite setting the goals? They're confused. They're lost in the process.
I think someone who feels stuck is someone who doesn't understand his journey, who doesn't know what he's doing. Because I think if you actually know what you're doing, you're going to figure it out. You're going to figure it out. You're going to put aside all the numerous number of guns pointing at you, and you'll know that if there are 10 guns pointing at me, it means about 20 that I can use and point back at whatsoever is pointing at me. You need to be your personal motivator. I think you need to learn how to motivate and inspire yourself to do more. You don't have to succumb to your internal pressure. I think that is the reason most of us we feel stuck somehow. We cannot motivate ourselves. We can't say, okay, at this point I want to lose 10 kilograms this week. This very minute I would get down from this bed, I'll move to the living room and I'll start making those push-ups. You need to motivate and push yourself forward.
Talking about motivating yourself, I remember there's a place in the Bible where I read in David's life as a king. There was a time that he was, he took his soldiers to war and destroyed them. And even the soldiers were planning to kill him because the soldiers heard that enemies have attacked home because they left home to go to war, and they have killed all their family members. And the Bible says that David motivated himself. He told himself, God, now that everybody's against me, I was once a king, and here am I, I'm lying down, and even those who serve me, those who honor me, those who bow down their head when I was passing, now they are plotting to kill me, and here am I, I'm alone, and I know you are here with me. What can I do at this time? And the story continues that he got up and pushed himself and finally catch up with the enemies and collected everything that they have stolen, and even collected everything that the enemies had. So at one point in time, the human nature, I keep emphasizing this, if you're watching, I'm sure if you have hit especially 25, 30, 35, 40, you must have found yourself in a situation where you are contemplating suicide. Mr. Leo, we have to be very certain about this. You find yourself in a place where you see like this is the end, like the world is against you, everything's against you, you cannot make it. But like Mr. Rock is saying, there are other ways. You might need to talk to somebody, or talk to a loved one, to a mentor, or somebody who cares. But that aspect of self-motivation, that aspect of reminding yourself the reason why you started in the first place, the aspect of finding yourself way back to your origin, which is your God, and the reason why you are here. It has a way that sparks that light within you that can make you to pick up and achieve maybe something you have never achieved in your life. If you study every successful person in this life, Mr. Liu, you find out that there was a time in their life that they were down on their knees. I am sure, in fact, from your story, Mr. Liu, I know of your story of how you started selling cassettes, renting cassettes in Boya, working in the palm plantation and all of that. I believe that in those moments, there were times that you were like, man, this thing's not worth it. I'm a degree holder, for example, and so on and so forth. But somehow you found yourself back on the ring.
Throughout my university days, I worked clearing palms. Yeah? Yes, that's why I raised money.
Were you happy?
I don't know. That's the only option I had. That's the only option. Yes, but the objective was I must go to school.
Yeah.
That was it.
You have that is your goal. Is that
I have to go to school.
Out of this. And whatsoever stands in front of you, you crush it. You believe in your efforts, and you are disciplined.
Even when I started this profession, I remember the first where we worked at in Boya ITV. We were just happy working. There was nothing like salary, nothing. We did not. Yes, we were just happy to serve.
And it was part of the journey.
Yes.
I remember seeing when I started in digital marketing, I always say to my students is that I started as a volunteer. I started as a volunteer, and I moved from being a volunteer to being a paid advertiser. And that was part of the journey. At 2 a.m., somebody you're volunteering for is calling you and putting you under pressure.
We are out of time. Thank you for coming, Ayong.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard.
Okay. And also to you, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Leo. Thank you very much. I think this year is 2026. It's a marketplace. All of us, we are selling.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Mr. Leo. Thank you, televiewers. I just want to quickly thank me and Media Prime for accompanying Farmer Always. We had a very successful digital landlords conference on Saturday here in Douala, and we have as goal to tour the whole of Cameroon this year. So Bamenda, early February, we are coming to Bamenda and start booking your spots already, because we almost understand how digitalization is influencing our careers and our businesses, and make the best out of it. Thank you, and see you some other time.
Okay, I have a gift for every woman, every girl child who wants to be successful in relationship. I have a gift for them, a package that I'm going to be unveiling, I'm sure, by next month. If you have a daughter and you want that daughter to be successful in a relationship, not to be dependent, taking in the relationship as a slave, but going to a relationship fully prepared and able to stand on her own, whether the man is there or not. I have something that I am cooking. I hope every mama watching, every girl watching would want to have a copy. It is going to be a handbook so that you know how to deal with this man. I am a man, you should know how to deal with us. Yes, you should buy one for your sister. Yes, it goes both ways. It goes for both men and women. So it is coming. We are going to be unveiling it in the days ahead. Thank you guys for watching, and especially to the production team. Ella is doing a tremendous job to get this program through to you people. Thank you to you, Eli, and can only say stay blessed. Bye-bye.